Danny, commiserations. It's probably the worst way to lose a game than that. Just how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm obviously really disappointed with the result, but really proud of some of the things that we did, some of the things that the players did, and we had some moments there that we probably lost the moments, and the last play of the game is probably one of them moments where, I think that's probably why Jai Field gets paid the big bucks, to be able to drag, a really good team out of a bit of a hole. So yeah, I'm proud of the players, really proud of the way that they went about things. They worked hard, they put the body in front against a big pack. We had some disruption this week with injuries and illness and players playing in different positions, and they just all cracked on with it, and that's just a good sign for us moving forward. It's a good sign for the team, and I'm really proud, disappointed but proud.
Got to ask you about the moment in that second half, the captain's challenge decision that went against you when Josh Simmons and Harry Smith seemed to have a bit of a moment. Just what was your take on that?
I just said it on Sky then. I'm frustrated with it. I think everyone in the whole of the ground can see it's a penalty. Either I'm watching something different if it's not, and I just think, I think we get. I'm not going to win. I am going to whinge about the refs and the call, because I just don't think we get anything. And I think everybody, we're playing at home, and sometimes you get that home advantage of a bit of pressure, and we don't get anything. Honestly, some of the decisions tonight were pathetic. The standard of officiating and some of the stuff going on, it's getting worse. Bring back some of them older guys than Silverwood and Ganson and Smith and people like that. At least they had some guts about them. They didn't get everything right, but they didn't just and I'm bothered if they can find me. I'll pay them back £1 a week, but they're just not. They're not good enough. It's just not good enough, and it's consistently not good enough. So I'm not bothered.
What other sort of channels can you go through to?
I'm not bothered. I'm going to waste any time because you don't get anything back. You ask questions and they just fob you off with pointless answers. So it's a waste of time investing any energy in asking questions about refs and calls and stuff, because they just fob you off and say, So I'm more focused on improving my players and helping my players get better and helping us go forward than wasting time. I'm going to whinge about it tonight because I feel like I can, but after I leave this room, I won't think about refs again. I'm not going to waste my time on it.
How much do you feel for your players as well in that respect?
Yeah.
Because we could see Alex Mellor, Sam Wood,
frustrated.
They were getting frustrated.
Of course they are, because they're putting everything in there. They're fighting and they're battling, and then you get some things that everyone, it just, Mel's gets taken out blatantly, and there's no penalty. I'm like, where's the potential? I don't ever want people sending or sending off, but it's foul play, and you just come to text him out when he hasn't got the ball. Nothing. And some of the calls were just horrific, and it's been consistent for us this year. We don't get the calls, and sometimes that's because you're not a dominant team, and we aren't Wigan, or so we do get some tough calls. But over time it'll make us more resilient, because we don't get it. We will get to a point where we don't care about refs. Where we'll get to a point where we're good enough to be able to whatever's thrown at us, and we will get there.
On Alex Mellor, obviously he got his knee strapped up after that contact. What's the sort of earliest?
He's got a decent bang to his knee, and he strapped it up and played tough. That's what a captain and a leader does in them games when you're not quite at it. You don't feel it, but he just strapped it up and got on with it. And that's what you need to win. We give ourselves a real good chance of winning that game. I thought it was, I thought it was there for us, and you got to give Wigan credit. They're a good team out there. They hang in there, and they've got players that can turn the game. But Mel's is tough, and put his hand up to finish the game. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Was Zach seen in a similar sort of thing?
Yeah, strapped at his ankle. He hit his ankle early on, but you wouldn't have known. He's been really good for us. I think he's gone under the radar, and I'm going to sing his praises more tonight because I think he deserves it. He's in a position that he's not played a lot of recent times, and he's just playing tough, and he's just trying his best for his teammates, and I love it. It's not perfect, but he's trying his best.
I remember asking you early this season about the character in your side and whether or not you thought you had the characters there to dig into games. Is that tonight at the very least a mark of how far you've come in that?
Yeah, I asked them before the game just to I referred to the lads from the Regal Trophy, the Kiwi boys that came over and spoke, and they're passionate and they still care about the club, and you know, they're still fond memories of their time here. And I'm like to our players, come on, we can create our own memories tonight. We get a chance to do it, and we nearly did. You know, we did some good things. We played tough. We played like we cared. So you know, the result is tough to take, but when you've got that, you know, I'm okay with it. I can work with it. I can live with it, and I know we'll get better. I know we'll keep improving.
A couple of individuals I want to ask you about. Josh Simpson on debut.
Good. I thought he worked sort of like. Bear in mind, he only got for playing Sunday. He's training twice with the players. I thought he was good. I thought he was committed. I thought he played tough. You know, he probably needs, you know, some more minutes and to get up to game speed. But we didn't let anyone down. Thought he was really brave, and he'll get better.
Will Tate as well.
Yeah, good.
To mark his comeback.
Yeah, good. I'm really pleased for him. He's had a tough road as well, and you know, he's finished his tries really well and did some good things. You know, he had some good carries and probably a couple of things that we can work on defensively, his reads and stuff. But it was never going to be perfect for Will. He's missed a lot of rugby, so I'm cool with that. We'll work with him. We'll try and educate him on some things, and he's a good kid, and yeah, I'm really pleased that he were able to, you know, get some luck out there tonight.
Those that missed out, Innes and Rowan, are they both injuries or tactical?
You know, Innes his ankle in training, so he pulled out in captain's run, so that was a little bit of adversity. Tom Amone was really poorly and just put his hand up. He didn't want to let the boys down, which I admire that, and had two really good stints. Thought Westy was brilliant, played 80 minutes in middle. Thought he was really good. Rowan, yeah, that was probably my toughest decision this week, because I've got a really good relationship with Rowan and working with him a long time and trying to help him, and but yeah, I just felt we probably needed to change things up there, so that was tactical. But Rowan will, you know, he'll have a say in the rest of the season at some point.
How severe is Innes's ankle?
It was just a decent sprain, so hopefully everything will be okay for next week.
Cheers.
Dan, you've changed the team quite a bit over the last few weeks, and you're talking about the attitude and that group really digging in. Did that performance surprise you? How good, or did you think that you would get that at some stage?
Yeah, no, do you know what? I think the previous 5 weeks before the KR game, we've had some really good moments. We won a couple of games. We were in a really good tussle, a couple of good tussles. So I knew there was improvements. I knew there were, you know, I thought we played some really nice stuff with the ball today as well. And so I'm seeing things that we're working on, you know, getting put out into practice, into the game. So, you know, I knew. You know, I'm not going to disrespect Wigan, but I don't think Wigan are at the best at the moment. You know, they're probably, and I imagine Matty would say that, but they find a way, because they've got a good culture and, you know, good players. They find a way. So, but yeah, we're getting there. We're working hard. We have to change and try and find our best 17 at times. So we do have to. You know, the couple were tactical and a couple obviously were injuries this week. But you know, I thought the lads that went out there tonight did themselves proud and did the club proud.
I thought George Hill played really well.
Good.
What were your assessment of him?
Very good. Yeah, I really liked it. He distributed pretty well from 9. He's not played there a lot recently, so that's some things that we need to keep working with him. But I thought he worked hard. I thought he was busy, and you know, his effort was good. That's why I asked him for the start of the game to look busy, and you've recognised that, which is good, and I recognised it. I thought it was good. And he'll get better, he's still young.
Do you think he benefited from his loan?
Yeah, and that was the plan. That were always the plan, to selfishly use Salford a little bit for his development, for his experience, and you know, I think he got six weeks there and came back a different person. I thought it was good. He's keeping himself in the team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Super. Cheers, Dan. Cheers,